Travis Wayne Goodsell. Mormons, here's a test for you. Don't wear your magic underwear today. Take them off. Don't wear them. You can't do it, can you? You live in fear, and you justify it by saying, oh, well, God would smite me down. God would curse me. I would be betraying God and violating my covenants. It's just clothing, guys. And you can't do it because of fear. The church has purposely created this fear in all Mormons that God will punish us if we don't keep our covenants. And for our teenagers, they have for strength of the youth, where they get more specific. That you can't show your belly button, because that turns guys on. And all sorts of laws and hedges around the hedge laws, and it gets out of control. And even Mormons then pick up on this and saying, oh, well, my standards, I've got to keep my standards. And so you add your own hedges and impose those hedges onto others. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't date you tonight because I'm not 18. I made a covenant to myself and with God that I'm not going to date you until you're 18, or until I'm 18. You know, you get those kinds of things that come up. I hope nobody's doing that. But, or the more popular one, oh, I can't date you alone until I'm 18. I can only date you in groups. That's one, because one of the apostles, it might have been Oakes, can't remember. It could be Ballard also, who demanded that Mormon kids date in groups at first rather than alone. Don't be alone. Don't do it. Taboo, evil. And so then you get the other things with Benson, who said that getting pregnant was a sin. Yeah. April Conference, his very first one as president of the church. And to the youth of the noble birthright, to the Aaronic priesthood. Read it. Necking, petting, and pregnancy, all pernicious sins. So my birth was conceived in sin. Oh, yeah, that's in Moses, right? Yeah. Gotcha. Even though my parents were sealed in the temple, sex is a sin. Pregnancy is a sin. It all must be immaculate. But that's the fear that the church purposely causes on Mormons. And the church never has to do any kind of punishment. Mormons do it to themselves. The fear, they get so full of guilt and remorse. Oh, I had a Mountain Dew. I'm going to burn in hell. That they go in, they confess to their bishop, and the bishop is going, oh, God. Can't believe you had a Mountain Dew. You watched an R-rated movie? Well, this is what we're going to do. You're going to put all the R-rated movies, especially the ones who are unrated versions of the R-rated movies, and put them in a box. And then you're going to set that box, make it anonymous, and put it on my doorstep. We will purge you of this great evil. Honey, where did these movies come from? Oh, I'm helping the youth with their R-rated addiction. Oh, Oh, you're such a good husband and bishop. I knew the Lord was inspired to call you. Yes, I've got to do the research to watch these movies and see what the kids are learning these days. But that's what's down the covenant path. When you pull that general stunt in the beginning, causing fear, the fear of God and His wrath, if you dare disobey the living prophets. That's the kind of stunts that result, the kind of fruit from the seed that are the natural consequences. And Mormons just don't get it. Time after time after time, they see the negative impact in their lives. They experience it firsthand. And they don't stop and think, this isn't right. Seriously? A sip of Mountain Dew is going to cast me to hell? Oh, well, you don't want to be denied exaltation for a sip of Mountain Dew. Yes, there are some things that are harmful if we're going to talk word of wisdom, because our bodies, you don't want to drink Drano. I found the movie and I can't remember it anymore. And then you have Trump, who wants to have us take disinfectant. There was a guy trying to argue it. I gave him the news coverage where Trump himself said it. And he was like, no, you didn't say it. Yes, he did. So I just banned him. Just unbelievable. But, you can't live your lives in fear, Mormons. That's what hostage takers do. They hold you hostage, they instill fear in you, and then they are the ones who take care of you. They feed you, they allow you to go to the bathroom, maybe shower, and it's not always the case, but they then care for you, and then you get what's called Stockholm Syndrome, which is you fall in love with your captor. And that's what all Mormons have faced, as you can't even wear regular, normal underwear because of fear that if you took off your underwear and they didn't wear it anymore. And now remember, you can't lie to the bishop during the temple recommend interviews, or tithing settlement. They don't ask you if you're wearing your underwear. Just the temple recommend interviews or worthiness interviews. Are you wearing the garment 24/7 as instructed? And you're supposed to say yes. Otherwise, oops, busted. I think we're going to have you wait for 3 months to see if you're going to wear your underwear. And of course, the church makes exclusive underwear for people to be forced to wear. They have to have the marks of the square and the compass on the breasts. The Freemason square and compass. And to remind Mormons of the secrets that they must keep. I hear the secrets that you keep when you're talking in your sleep. We're going to do Adamant's Strip for Me, Strip for You, just like they did in Ancient History, whatever that song was titled. I think it's just Strip. So be prepared for that in the discussion thing or whatever below. But that's the baggage that I've been talking about, that ex-Mormons also talk about, maybe, as they talk about how, well, the church has some good. That's Stockholm Syndrome. Because you start thinking, oh, your captor, he's not all bad, he's feeding me. He's giving me a place to sleep. Yeah, you're held hostage. You're being deprived of your life, liberty, and property. That's a crime committed against you. They are not good. And so when you start saying, well, no, they've got a good heart. No, you don't really know them. You don't have to. They kidnapped you. They're holding you hostage. And in a religious sense, this is a mass kidnapping through brainwashing that they're doing and using on you. This is what cult groups and occult, as the church is an occult, not just a cult, because of the inverted pentagram temple worship that Mormons have, that automatically turns it into a cult. But don't get fooled. Understand that it's okay. You have to purge yourself of everything the church has taught you throughout your whole life, and you have to start all over again, reevaluating every single thing you do in your day. When you wake up and you take your shower and you go to put on your clothes for the day, you have to realize, hey, wait a minute, I don't need to wear these magic underwear. Yes, I'm going to the beach, and yes, I have pasty white skin, and I'm likely to get sunburned if I don't use sun lotion of a high pH, or whatever the thing is for sunscreen. But yeah, you can also wear regular clothes, and that'll also protect you from getting sunburned. Garments aren't magical in that way. And people just, they don't think when it comes to religion. They think when they're in their work, because they have to, because if they start thinking of magical thoughts, of mystical, faith-promoting stuff, you're going to get fired. Boss ain't going to tolerate that. Where's the report I asked you to make for today at 10 o'clock? Well, if you have faith strong enough, it'll all work out. God will provide. Yeah, you're fired. So you actually got to produce results. And that's the Mormon gospel. Manifest the truth. You all know where that comes from, that you've twisted around. You have to manifest the truth. You've got to produce results. Just because somebody says something, just because you hear something in your head that says something, you've got to produce the results. And the results will tell you whether it's good or bad. And when you find out it's bad, you don't listen to that voice anymore. Whether it's written, some other person, or in your head. The results will tell you whether it's true or not. And we're supposed to have learned this as kids, as parents say, no, that's not a good thing to do. Wherever you got that idea from, that was a wrong thing to do, because it's going to hurt you if you do that. And that's what parents are supposed to be teaching kids at a young age, so that when they're 8 years old, they then become accountable. But if we're not teaching our kids to become accountable at 8 years old, and then we pass it off to the school systems, they'll do it. Do they? Oh, they want to teach that science. They want to teach you that during a viral pandemic you have to wear a mask and stay home. You know, it just blows the mind. And so yes, I trigger Mormons because of the fear and the paranoia that the church has put upon you. So if you were to see the thumbs down that I see, you'll realize that those Mormons got triggered. They think they're triggering me, but they're the ones who got triggered, thinking that they're going to trigger me. It's a projection thing that they do. And they have no interest in actually listening to me and learning from what I have to say. And what you need to understand is the leaders of the church are hurting you. They're causing damage to you. They're trying to murder you, getting you to do it by having you go to church during a pandemic, having you go to the temple to get your own sealings, to go on missions, to become an elder, to become an independent woman who doesn't need a man to obey. And I'm the one who's trying to help you. I'm trying to save you, rescue you. And you won't, because you're too hung up on Stockholm Syndrome. You are too far gone. They've got you. And there's nothing I can do for you. And that's the sad truth.